project is research that we conducted involving interviews, data, and references. Our focus was on polling and surveying systems in the classroom. The topic was broad, so we narrowed it down to some of the best hardware and software available so that we could demonstrate how beneficial and extraordinary some of the technologies are. We hope you'll enjoy.
Interactive tools such as clickers, Google Docs, and polling and surveying sites can be used multiple ways in an elementary classroom setting. For example, a survey can be used during morning meeting, and then for math time, that survey can be turned into a graph and the students can study the graph. The advantages to using interactive tools in the classroom are the following. Technology motivates students to be active learners. Learning is created for 21st century digital natives. The technology is simple for the students and teachers to use. The disadvantages to using interactive tools in the classroom are the following. The technology can be distracting. Teachers have to balance technology and teaching. And funding is required to buy software and hardware for the interactive tools.
Use interactive tools.
We've used Centeo clickers to gather data, and it gives me a chance to see what the kids know. Almost use it as a quiz to find out what they already know about a certain subject area. Also, Google Docs in order to get some data that we can interpret and use our math skills for. Sometimes there would actually be a delay, especially if I would have all of the students use the Google Docs at the same time. So I have in the past used just one computer where they go to as a station to answer the questions so that we can look at the data later during morning meeting time. With the clicker, sometimes there might be, again, a response issue where some of the clickers aren't responding, or just software issue too with the computer. After our computers are re-imaged, sometimes things don't get carried over. So sometimes there's glitches there. So it's really important to make sure everything is working before you try and do it with students. I do, because it's another way for the students to look at, and in this day and age, technology is everywhere, so why shouldn't it be in the classroom? So it gives them another outlet of doing the same things that we're going to be doing in math, but a different way of doing it. If we're going to be looking at data in a different way and turn it into a graph, or another way for me to record how much someone has learned or what they still have difficulty in with the clickers. It gives me a great way to see.
What interactive tools?
I definitely feel like both of them that I've used have been good in their own respect. Definitely the Centeo clickers I use more to gain knowledge about what they know as more of a quiz, and the Google Docs I utilize more as a fun aspect to get some fun data about each other, yes or no questions, to then look at how many more said yes, how many less said no, and interpret it that way for math skills.
The expanding availability of technology in the classroom greatly impacts the way that teachers educate in a modern context compared to standard lecture of the past. Students today are already familiarized with their cell phones and iPads at home, so there is no huge learning curve. The instantaneous nature of surveying or student response systems caters to the way in which digitally native students process the information. The technology like Smart Response seamlessly integrates between multiple devices and doesn't require a whole lot of setup. I interviewed Jeff Van Arnheim from Olmsted Falls High School, who presented the Smart Response software at the 2011 International Society for Technology in Education Conference.
Smart Response is basically a student response system that we use in our school. There's other ones out there, but we use it because it integrates seamlessly with our smart boards, and you get some direct or instant feedback from students. And so that's why we like it, kind of for formative assessment. From experience, I've kind of noticed, especially kind of lower achieving students have really benefited because it gives me an opportunity to kind of know before we get to a test or some major assessment who's struggling, and then I can actually kind of intervene at the right time. And so I really think it's even from talking to students, it's been kind of nice. They enjoy using it. Well, what I want to try to do with technology is not make really my classroom about the technology. The technology is really just kind of a tool that's kind of behind the scenes that I hope will, help learning. And so I don't want really something that's going to take me 10 minutes to set up or, 10 minutes to clean up or that there's a big learning curve for students. And I think the smart response systems, although it's very powerful, it's pretty simple for students to use. They have pretty much an intuitive feel for it by integrating it right into the lessons on a smart notebook file. The Common Core also, a big piece of that is assessments, and we've created some common assessments in my department too, which is another push, I think, by the Common Core is to create common standards, and our departments try to do that, and they're very easy to share. That's the nice thing about things with technology. I mean, it's a file. I can send it over to the other algebra teachers, and we could all be collecting data on the same 3 to 4 questions for formative assessment.
Student response systems are changing the traditional teaching style in the 21st century in order to facilitate the student. The advantages outweigh the disadvantages and will continue to do so as the technology continues to improve. The huge variety of options, such as Poll Everywhere, Smart Response, and Turning Point, allow for a greater flexibility in the budget or a tangible investment that delivers. No matter what the choice, technology is becoming more involved in today's society, and its use in education will prepare students for the future.